To think better, to feel better, to get more done, you need to eat in a way that energizes you. That can be challenging in a normal work day, but it's especially challenging when you travel. I want it to be easier for you, so on my last business trip, I experimented, and I'm going to share with you what I did and the result. Welcome, I'm Sheri Traxler with Vireo Life, author of Go Forward, 28 Days to Eat. That's what we're talking about today. Move and enjoy life God's way. 2 weeks ago, I was on a business trip, and during that trip, I said, I want to feel my best, so therefore I knew I need to eat my best, and I want to share these tips with you. Make sure that you subscribe and click that notification bell, because this is part of a 4-part series on business travel and how to have energy when you're traveling. Kind of a frequent flyer fitness series. I'm going to take you through my food prep, and not just my food prep before the trip, but also choices I made throughout the trip. I've got 2 sandwiches that I'm going to be packing, Swiss and pecan butter, one for the plane and one for dinner on Saturday night. I've calculated based on what meals we'll be having out, what snacks I will need, that I need 8 servings of nuts, so I've got that. A few little extras, 4 apples, and then of course it's a powerful plate, so we have to have some celery and mini bell peppers. These are some homemade quinoa muffins. I will end up needing 5 of those, and I am a supplement taker. Lunch, breakfast, bedtime. First night is in a hotel that has a breakfast bar, but I know sometimes that just simply means donuts and orange juice. So I'm going to take 1 serving of oatmeal just in case. Think worst case scenario. How do you need to prep for that? Because if you end up relying on processed foods, convenience foods, anything that you're just grab and go and it's not a balanced meal, you're going to be bloated and low energy, and that is not the way to be productive the next day. Sometimes in an airport, you do find a really nice place to have a meal, or at least that has really powerful plate options. Problem was, I saw that at my airport in the morning. I had just had breakfast. By lunchtime, here's where I am. Well, I'm super glad that I did bring my food, because I'm at my layover, which got shortened because of everything being late, so it's about 15 minutes. Gave me time to grab water, and I'll talk about hydration later because I'm in a rush right now and I'm about to eat a bite of food that I brought. I'll flip the camera around so you can see the mass of people. Time to take a deep breath. I have gotten to the hotel, the first hotel, the one by the airport, and I am so glad that I brought the extra sandwich and celery and apple just in case, because this is a just in case. There is no restaurant here. There's no restaurants along this row of hotels, airport hotels. And although they do have takeout, carry out, delivery, but it's all junk food. It's all fast food stuff. So I do not want that. So that means that I'm going to be eating all of that good stuff that you saw me pack. I had one for lunch because it was a 15-minute real fast layover, and then another one for dinner tonight. But it keeps my energy up, keeps my blood sugar from going crazy by eating junk food, and that's what we want. Here's my question for you when you're traveling. Number 1, how do you want to feel? Yes, I would love something a little more tasty tonight for dinner, but more important is, how do I want to feel for all of the adventures and the work coming up? To fridge or not to fridge? That is the question. The answer is always get a mini fridge. Most of the time, They are included now in hotel rooms. Still double check though, because I have been in some that I've needed to request having a mini fridge in the room. This one's not doing very much good because, as I mentioned, there's no restaurants, delis, mini marts, anything around to get food to put in the fridge. But I did put it in the muffins that I brought so they would stay good longer. How much water do you need when you are traveling? More than you think. Whenever you're working, it's so important to keep the brain hydrated because every action in your body, every reaction in your body and in your brain goes on in a base of water, and it's going to slow down if you are not hydrated. Also, it keeps the headaches away. I noticed earlier today that I was starting to get a little bit of a headache about 11 o'clock, just a tiny bit, and I thought, I've only had about 3 cups of water today. After that breakfast at the airport hotel, I head to my final destination in New Hope, Pennsylvania to stay at a bed and breakfast. While I'm waiting for my room, I'm wandering around and I find this local gym for my lunch.
Well, but she was sort of saying, and it's interesting, she was saying really that to make every cheese, there's not much.
Relaxing by the Delaware River, I'm able to have half of that croissant and also have part of a quiche that was, so you have egg and it was a vegetable quiche. So I have my powerful plate and that fuels me up to walk to the grocery store. I've stopped at a park bench on my way back from the grocery to give you a couple of, actually 3 tips on food, groceries when it comes to your travel. We've already talked about having a fridge, and the Aaron Burr House doesn't have mini fridges, but their refrigerators are large enough that they will accommodate guests who have a little bit of food that they want to keep in, and I definitely want to do that. So number 1 of the 3 is, where is the grocery store in relation to where you're going to be staying? For me, it was less than a mile away. I knew that that would be walkable, so I did not have to rent a car. Second is, know what you want, because at this particular training conference, we're going to be together all the time. Lunch is provided, dinner's going to be out. I know I only need snacks. So as long as the grocery had celery and apples and bananas, I knew I'd be okay. And then third is, okay, you're traveling. You're not always going to get exactly what you want. They did not have organic. But they had plenty of fruit to choose from, and actually they did have celery. The celery I got was organic. They just didn't have apples that were organic, and that's okay. I'll live with that this trip. The end result of staying prepped for a powerful plate during the trip was steady blood sugar, no brain fog, no sugar crashes, stayed alert, engaged, productive for both full days of the trip, of the hands-on business time of the trip, and I came home still with plenty of energy to engage with family and work the next day because I didn't have any of those cranky crashes that happen when you're not eating well. I felt great, and I want that for you. So be sure that you subscribe, click that notification bell, and make sure that you take the time to think about what you're going to eat for your next business trip. I have a travel planning packing template that my clients use, and if you want, it showed up in the first part of the video. If you want a copy of that, just email me, sheri@theveryolife.com, and I will get that to you. I want to get you all the resources that you need so that you can have more fun, get more done, and of course, find your path and fulfill your unique potential.